This here is Triumph's 2020 Street Triple RS. We've had this bike for a year, done over 3,500 miles on it. So what's it been like? Now, we've absolutely loved this bike since the updated version was released in 2016. I did the launch of it, it was at Catalunya and it was brilliant. Since then, it's been updated and we've done loads of miles on road and track. It's so smooth, stable, it's easy, it's confidence inspiring. But you can never get a full picture of a bike until you do a shed load of miles on it. So even though 2020 has done a bit of a number on us, I've still managed to do a load of long journeys on it. I've done a lot of 200-300 mile days on it, done short journeys, been up and down to London, been riding it in the pouring rain, in the dark, been through everything you would. I'm not a fair weather rider, I don't mind getting a bit wet. And I've learned a lot about this bike. Firstly, for a naked, it is incredibly comfy. So from my house to the office is just a nip under 200 miles. And I can do that with one fuel stop. It's got great fuel range. And I get off it and I barely feel like I've been riding at all, which is surprising for a lot of nakeds. A lot of nakeds, they're not uncomfy, but you get a bit of weight on the wrists. This, I found, has been one of the comfiest. It feels I'm only small, but it feels roomy, the seat's comfy, the pegs are fairly low down, even though it still feels sporty. So it's been absolutely mega for that. Although I would say the one thing I really wish I would have put on it was a fly screen. Just that little bit of wind protection would have made a massive difference. Another thing I'd say to put on it, which I have, is a pillion seat. Now, I know a lot of people don't ride with pillions. I tend to, I take the missus on the back, and she's been on quite a few bikes, no jokes, but this thing, don't laugh, this thing has been surprisingly comfy. If you look, it doesn't look like there's a lot of space there, but we've done a couple of journeys. I've had a couple of guys on there as well that are a bit bigger. I'd say if you're going to put someone a bit bigger on there, you're going to want to adjust that Öhlins a little bit because it will properly squat. It's fairly soft on the back. But for a bike that can scratch really well and perform on track, it does do a great job taking a pillion, although there is no grab handles, so make sure they're nice and comfy holding onto you. It's not just the boring road stuff we've been doing though. I managed to do quite a lot of miles with this thing on track and it is mega. Like the fact it comes equipped with Supercourses as standard, Pirellis, it's got Brembos, it's got an Öhlins rear shock. Like the bike is so confident, it's so easy to ride, it's easy to ride fast. It's got more than enough power to keep you entertained, but without going OTT. So it'll more than, if you're capable, it'll more than happy keep up with sports bikes to a certain extent. It's got a shifter and a blipper, which is absolutely great. Although I do find it's quite stiff on the upshifts. You have to be really gunning it to get the proper nice smooth upshifts. So I think, to be honest, it could definitely do with an aftermarket shifter if you're more track inclined, fast road inclined. Personally, I like a nice, smooth, easy, but positive transition, and that's one thing it could really do with. One thing you need to make sure of when you're getting a new bike is you've got a good dealer network and you've got a good backup. So this model actually had a brake recall on it earlier in the year, and I've got to say, like, the dealer network from Triumph is immense. Like, I had a look around, it looks like pretty much anywhere you are in the UK, and I'm not sure worldwide, but in the UK in general, they've got a pretty solid dealer network, they're easy to get to, and from what I've dealt with, they've been absolutely mega, so I can't fault them for that at all. But then again, like the little things that you wouldn't normally think about when testing a bike, I found the lights are really good on this, they are really strong, so when you're riding in the dark, the lights are brilliant. Around town, it's actually a brilliant little bike. It's fairly smooth down low, so when you're nipping in and out of traffic, like the steering is amazing at low speeds. You can get in and out, it filters really easily. The dash is easy to read, which is good. I found that it took a bit of time to get used to the dash, like dial in my settings and make the rider modes exactly what I wanted, but it's fully adjustable and you can actually customize the screens to what you want, and I found that's absolutely brilliant. Although one little bugbear I have is, if you like having the traction control off, which I personally do, one little niggle is when you turn the ignition off, it will go back into a standard map and it will turn the traction control back on. So you need to turn that, like if you stop for fuel, it will turn it off, and then when you put it back on, you need to turn it back on. But a lot of Euro 5 bikes are like that, and very little do that anymore. So it's nothing I can complain about too much. Another thing that isn't quite perfect on this is the mirrors. I know they look great, but they're a bit of a pain in the arse. Like I said, it's an amazing bike for filtering, it's an amazing bike for town riding, but like when you're on the motorway and it's static traffic and you're just rolling through, they actually stick out a little bit, and it's perfect mirror height for cars. So you've almost got to dash in and out, and that's something you really got to be careful of. They look great, they're pretty functional, they don't give too much vibration, but when you're filtering, and little bits as well, so when you're putting in a van and strapping it in with another bike, you just got to be a bit careful of them. And to be honest, I'd probably opt for normal ones in the future. For 10.5 grand, I think the Triumph Street Triple RS is a brilliant bike. Like, we've done loads of miles in every situation possible. We've been riding it in the absolute pouring rain, dry, freezing cold conditions, autumn, and like every single time, it doesn't matter, because when I open the garage and I look at it, I smile. It's a great bike, it's so easy to ride. I think the one thing that would hold me up about buying it is how easy it is. It's very, very smooth. The triple motor is so silky. It doesn't quite have that rough, ragged edge of some of the other nakeds. If you were going for a middleweight or like a top end sub-litre naked, it doesn't quite have that ragged aggressiveness that some of them do. So keep that in mind. If this is a bike that you want to commute on, you want to do long miles on, you want to have fun, you want to take it on track, it comes spec'd out, it comes for a good price. It's got a big Triumph badge on the side of it. And for me, it's been absolutely brilliant. It's looked after me in my ham-fisted ways, and I'm going to be sad to see it go.